Hello and welcome to the Spanish lesson number 2 of the Beginner Spanish course. Today we're going to be looking at greetings in Spanish and some typical Spanish expressions that you will start to hear and start to use when you start speaking Spanish and communicating with people in the language. Okay, let's get started. So here we have a chart of the basic greetings and things that you would need to say. We have hola, buenos días, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. So going back to the first lesson, if we remember, the H sound is completely silent in Spanish. So we're saying hola, we're not pronouncing that sound at all. Then we have buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, keeping the sounds again very sharp. Buenos, buenas. Días, tardes, noches. So this is a good one to kind of focus on if we want to talk about the Spanish masculine and feminine words. So as you probably already know, every word in the Spanish language is either masculine or feminine. And what we will start to see over the next few lessons are the articles, the word the in Spanish, which could be el or la. El is for masculine words and la is for feminine words. So many people ask me, oh, well, what's the difference with buenas tardes, buenas noches? But we have here a buenos días with an O. And this is based on the word that we've got here. So buenos, buenas, good, is a descriptive word, an adjective. It's describing how the day is. It's a good day, or it's a good afternoon, or a good evening. So it follows with the masculine or feminine of the main word, which would be morning, afternoon, or night. So in Spanish, tarde, afternoon, would be la tarde, which would be feminine. Noche is also feminine, la noche. And día is masculine, so we would say el día. How do I know when a word is masculine or feminine in Spanish? That is something we'll be looking at in our next lesson. And there's many tricks and ways of being able to identify that. But that's just a starter, an introduction to the masculine and feminine. So we have buenos with an O, días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Also, another good thing to mention when we're learning good morning, good afternoon, good evening are the times in Spain. Buenos días, good morning, can be anything from 9 to 2. En español, de 9 a 2. Afternoon is after 2. En español, después de las 2. And evening really depends, I suppose, if it's summer, if it's winter. Once it's dark outside, it's normally evening. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes depende. So good afternoon really depends. Anything from after the morning time in Spain until 8, maybe 9 p.m. would be good afternoon, and good evening would be once it's dark. Buenas noches. This does vary slightly for different people. They might want to say buenas noches a bit sooner or whatever, but this is more or less above all the morning, if anything. In Spain, it's still morning until the Spanish lunchtime, which is at 2 o'clock. De 9 a 2. Okay, so we have hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás would be how are you? Or ¿cómo estáis? ¿Cómo estáis would be how are you all, how is a group of people. This is a very strange one in English because we don't have a separate category. We would just use you, whether it's one you or a group of yous. But in Spanish, we would say ¿cómo estás? For one person and ¿cómo estáis? For a group of people. And if we look at this here, we can see the endings are different. So we will start to see throughout the beginner's course different endings of a verb in Spanish. So we will see as is for you. How are you? An ace would be a group of people. So that's something we will start looking at a little bit later on as we progress also. So, ¿cómo estás? How are you? ¿Cómo estáis? If you're a couple, if you're a group of people, ¿cómo estáis? The next one we have is ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal is more or less, how are things? ¿Qué tal? What's up? What's going on? What's happening? This is very, very casual, not formal at all. It's probably something you'll hear more than you'll use with your speaking at the beginning. You'll hear all the time, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? What's going on? You can also use it to ask if there's a situation and you, oh, what's happening here in that context as well. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? But if you're using it as a greeting, ¿qué pasa is like, what's going on? What's happening? How are you? It's very, very casual. I've put another example here. ¿Qué pasa, qué pasa, hombre? I was going to say tío, which is another good one. ¿Qué pasa, hombre? What's going on? Hombre is man, or tío in Spanish is technically uncle when we get to the family members, but it's also used to say man. ¿Qué pasa, hombre? ¿Qué pasa, tío? This is something you'll definitely hear if you're out and about and you're listening to Spanish. Then we have the answers to ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estáis? Or ¿qué tal? So we could say we're very good, muy bien. We could say fenomenal, fenomenal. Brilliant, excellent. Great would be genial, genial. Not too good, a bit under the weather in Spanish, we could say regular, regular. So we've got muy bien, fenomenal, genial, regular. So we're kind of trying to remember how to pronounce some of the sounds from the first lesson. We've got the noisy ge sound because we've got the G following an E, genial. We've got a word beginning with an R, so we're remembering that when a word starts with an R, we would have to roll that R and we would say regular. Then we have muy bien, fenomenal. This is really one. If we find a long word in Spanish that's a little bit tricky, the best thing to do is to break it down, fenomenal. So even if you, fenomenal, you break that down however you think works best for you. It just helps a little bit. Fenomenal. Muy bien is something that you'll hear a lot in the lessons. Very good, let's move on. Muy bien. Continuamos, let's continue. Fatal, dreadful, terrible. In English, the translation fatal might be a little bit too strong, but fatal is when you're not very good at all. Okay, how about nice to meet you? Encantado or encantada. Going back to the masculine and feminine, one moment, we will start to see we've touched upon slightly the el and la, meaning the. El is the masculine version of the, la the feminine. And then if we come back here with the endings of words, 9 times out of 10, probably more than that even, words ending in O in Spanish are masculine. Encantado is masculine, so it's nice to meet you for a man speaking. Encantada, A ending words are normally feminine. I say normally because there are a few exceptions, but when we get onto the masculine and feminine lesson, it will be very clear that it is pretty much always O masculine, A feminine. But just not to close our minds off to that yet, there are a few irregularities. Encantada would be nice to meet you for a woman speaking. So if a man were to say to you, encantado, if you're a woman, you would say back encantada, or the opposite. Really what you need to remember is if you're a man, you will always say encantado, no matter who is saying it to you or who you're saying it to. And if you're a woman, you would always say encantada, no matter what, because people get confused. Oh, if I'm saying it to a woman, do I use the A? If I'm saying it to a man, do I use the O? No, just whoever you are. If you're a woman, encantada. If you're a man, encantado. Soy. Soy would be I'm. This will be something that we'll start to use over the next few lessons with our sentence building. Soy de. De in Spanish can mean from or of. So a good example of using de would be to describe where we're from. Soy de. I'm from. Soy de Inglaterra. Soy de España. Soy de Francia. These are just some examples. Soy de Inglaterra, and we can hear here with Inglaterra, we've got the R, the rolling of the R, we've got two R's there. España, we have the Spanish squiggly N, España. And Francia, we have the C with the R, sorry, the C with the I to make the th sound. Okay. So let's go through what we've got so far one more time. Let's read the list. Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estáis? This sound is ace, ace. ¿Cómo estáis? Think of the A and the E. A-I, ace. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué pasa? Muy bien, fenomenal, genial, regular, fatal, encantado, encantada, soy de Inglaterra, soy de España, soy de Francia. Just before my screen went a little bit crazy, I was trying to point out that the C and the I is the th sound, the TH sound, Francia. Okay, the next one would be vivo en. So we're remembering that the V's are a soft B sound. I live in. Vivo en. The town, the city, the village, you would just put the name straight after. Vivo en Madrid. Vivo en Murcia. Vivo en a town, a village, whatever. Adiós. Goodbye. Hasta luego. See you later. And hasta mañana. See you tomorrow. So you've got the ñ sound again. The Spanish N, hasta mañana. Adiós. Hasta luego. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego in very fast conversation does sound more like one word maybe than two. So that's something just to listen out for and to bear into mind. Okay, fantastic. So these would be some very basic ways of saying hello, saying goodbye, greetings. Now we're going to move on and we're going to look at some typical Spanish expressions. Spanish expressions, here we go. So in Spanish, we would say expresiones. And we've got for different, a mix of all different expressions in everyday language use. So the first would be Jesús, which is also a very common, popular Spanish name for men. Jesus, Jesús. And we would use Jesús as an expression to say bless you. When somebody sneezes, we would say Jesús. Or we could say salud. Salud literally means health, but we would use it to say bless you if somebody was sneezing, or to cheers, to say cheers if you're having a drink with somebody. Salud. Salud, Jesús. Enjoy your meal. Que aproveche. Que aproveche. Jesús, salud, que aproveche. And the word aproveche is coming from the Spanish action, the Spanish verb aprovechar, which means to take advantage. So it's kind of saying take advantage of this food to enjoy your meal. I suppose it's difficult to translate, but that's where that's coming from. I've put here another example using aprovechar. Aprovecho el momento para descansar. This is something that we can break down later on in the further lessons. I kind of use this moment, take advantage of this moment to rest. And these are things that we'll start to see, the o being a masculine word, ending in o, momento, the el, which is the equivalent of the in masculine, so the moment. And we'll start to talk about actions, which are verbs that end in o. So when we've seen como estás, the AS ending for you. We've seen como estáis, the ACE ending for a group of people. And then the O ending for any type of an action word, any verb would be O, aprovecho. And that's something we'll be working on in our very next lesson. Congratulations in Spanish, we say enhorabuena. So breaking that down, we say en, hora. We remember that the H sound is completely silent. Buena. And if you go back to buenos días, buenas tardes, buena is meaning good. So it's saying in good timing. In Spanish, hora is hour and also time. The time in Spanish would be la hora. So it's for happy events, it's for dates. Dates of accomplishment, really. So if somebody has graduated, got a new home, had a baby, you would say in Spanish, enhorabuena, enhorabuena. And then if you wanted to congratulate a birthday, you would say feliz cumpleaños, or you could use the one above, felicidades. Felicidades is used for birthdays. It's used for Mother's Days in Spain, Father's Day, Saint Days. A lot of Spanish people have, if their name is a religious name, they have then a name, a day to their name, a saint day. So we could say for that, felicidades, and we've got the th sound again with the C and the I, felicidades. Or feliz cumpleaños. Remembering the Z is a th sound. And then we've got cumple años. We've got the ñ sound in the Spanish N. Cumple in Spanish, if we separate the word and look at where it's coming from, cumple is to complete, and años are years, so you're completing years. Feliz cumpleaños. And that is brought together like that, and you would just say feliz cumpleaños. You can also say cumpleaños feliz. It's a lot more common to say feliz cumpleaños. However, the reason that I'm mentioning this is because the happy birthday song in Spanish is the opposite way around, and it's cumpleaños feliz. Merry Christmas, feliz Navidad, Happy New Year, feliz año nuevo, feliz año nuevo. And here some people say feliz año as a short way of congratulating. Feliz año nuevo. Igualmente would be equally, meaning the same to you. So if somebody says to you, Feliz Navidad, you can say back, igualmente, or Feliz Año Nuevo, igualmente. So you don't have to constantly keep repeating the same phrase or expression back. You could say igualmente. What a pity, qué pena, qué pena. So the word que is something that will pop up an awful lot in the lessons. Que, really translating to what, has many more uses than the word what. So que is used sometimes as that, as what. It's included in expressions that don't really translate into English. So there's a que there, where in English there's nothing in the place of that. So we need to be quite flexible with que and give it a bit of an allowance that it doesn't always translate to what. In the first one, que pena, what a pity, it does. The next one, que va, means no way, kind of get out of there, no way. It doesn't translate using what. So we just need to be a little bit flexible with that one. Que va. Leave me, go away. When somebody is annoying you, you can say in Spanish, déjame, déjame. Let's go, vamos. And come on, venga, vamos, venga. You can even hear these two together. Let's go, come on, or come on, let's go, venga, vamos, vamos, venga. You will hear this a lot, especially with Spanish parents telling their children, hurry up, come on, let's go. It's quite a common one to hear. Madre mía is a kind of, oh my God, madre mía. Claro means of course, and claro is used a lot just to say kind of, okay, I understand you, I'm following you. It's used a lot using the telephone in Spanish if you're following a conversation with somebody and you just want them to know that you can hear them and you're listening and you're responding, claro, claro, or you're agreeing with them, you're understanding them. Claro is one that you will hear a lot. Sí, yes. Dime literally means in Spanish, tell me, but it's used in a different way. So when you answer the phone in Spanish, you can say hola, or you could say dime. Although it might sound a little bit rude in English to say tell me, in Spanish it's perfectly fine. It's a lot more direct. And dime, tell me, is an acceptable way to answer the phone. It's also a way that you'll hear it in restaurants. So if you go into a bar and somebody's kind of asking, oh, are you ready to order? They might just come over and say, hola, or buenos días, buenas tardes, dime. Tell me what you like. This is normally used for Spanish tapas bars, or if you're going out for a coffee or some breakfast, something like this. Maybe not so much in a formal setting or in a really nice restaurant for an evening meal, but just for something fast. You will hear in some of the bars or restaurants, dime. Okay, in Spanish, we would use vale. Vale. And when we say something's done or finished, we would say ya está. Ya está. If somebody says, have you finished your food? You could say, or you want to say, oh, I finished, ya está. It's good weather, it's a lovely day. Hace buen tiempo. Hace buen tiempo. It's bad weather, it's not a nice day. Hace mal tiempo. And then here we've got what I mentioned with the saint day, some examples if you're interested in the cultural side of Spanish. Es mi santo would be a translated, it's my saint day. So you could say, ah, felicidades. You know, congratulations or happy saint day. And we've got some examples, San Jose, which is the same day as the Spanish Father's Day. Juan, Javier, Jesús. And then for women, Maria, Concepción. Sometimes the long Spanish names are shortened. Concepción can be shortened to Conchi, this type of thing. And all of these religious names have a saint day where you would say to that person, Felicidades. La Navidad, Christmas, where we've looked at Feliz Navidad. And then we have La Noche Buena, which would literally mean the good night, which is in Spanish, Christmas Eve. So the 24th of December, el 24 de diciembre, la noche buena. And the old night, la noche vieja, would be New Year's Eve, el 31 de diciembre. A few extra things that might be worth mentioning in this lesson today. Looking at these two expressions here or sentences here. La Nochebuena, we're looking again at the feminine and the masculine. So we've got buena, the A ending with la. Here again, vieja with la. These are things that will start to come together over a certain amount of lessons. Everybody's different, but maybe after 4, 5, 6, 7 lessons, the masculine and feminine really starts to click, where you can see the connection of la with the A ending or el with the O ending. And it really is just to keep practicing, a matter of practice. So masculine and feminine is what I wanted to mention here. We've got the dates, which we will also be looking in one of our next lessons. Apart from the masculine and feminine, we've got a lesson coming up with the numbers in Spanish, days of the week, months of the year, so we can get all of those in. The Spanish Christmas, Los Reyes Magos, the Three Kings, Los Reyes Magos, which is the 6th of January, el 6 de enero. So you can see here we've got diciembre and enero, which will be coming up in our 4th lesson. Diciembre, December, and you can hear the th because of the CI, diciembre, enero, keeping it again very, very sharp. And then here we've got el roscón. El roscón is a typical Spanish sweet, which is normally given to children on the day of the Three Kings for breakfast. So once again, this is a cultural thing. It's nice to mix, along with the lessons, a little bit of Spanish culture, so you can really feel connected with your Spanish that you're learning. El roscón or el roscón de Reyes, the Three Kings roscón cake, is the traditional Spanish breakfast on that morning. And this is something that you can Google. You can have a look at el roscón de Reyes, and we can start to practice in some of the future lessons what colors you can see, maybe what ingredients in the Roscón de Reyes are masculine words, feminine words. There's a lot that we can do to keep the lessons lighthearted and not too stressful. Okay, so the saint days, San Antonio. So if it's a man, we would use San, and if it's a woman, we would use Santa. And that's the end of our list of expressions. I'm going to quickly repeat them just in Spanish once more. If you think you already know them, it might be a great idea to read them out just before I do and just check that the pronunciation coincides. Okay. The first one, Jesús, Jesús. The second, salud, salud. Que aproveche, que aproveche. Enhorabuena, enhorabuena. Felicidades, felicidades. Feliz cumpleaños, feliz cumpleaños. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad. Feliz Año Nuevo, feliz Año Nuevo. Or for short, feliz año. Same to you. Igualmente, igualmente. Have you got it? Good. Qué pena, qué pena. No way, get out of there. ¿Qué va? ¿Qué va? Déjame. Déjame. Vamos. Venga. Madre mía. Madre mía. Claro. Sí. You might hear a mix. Sí, sí, claro, claro. Following a conversation. Yeah, yeah, of course, you know. Sí, sí, claro. Dime. Dime. Vale. Ya está. Ya está. Hace buen tiempo. Hace buen tiempo. And the last one. Did you get it right? Hace mal tiempo. Perfecto. Perfect. Es mi santo. La Navidad. La Nochebuena. La Noche Vieja. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember that with each lesson, you have your document that you can print, keep on file, take notes with. If you do like to take a lot of notes, you could print it before you watch your recorded lesson. So you can jot things down as you go along, or you can use it on your computer, tablet, whatever you're watching from. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much and see you soon. Adiós. Hasta luego.